Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today it's time for another day in the life of an IT guy. So do you remember this video I did a while back on this mini PC? Let's drop that out. Oh yeah, it's a nice little... Wow, that thing is light. It hardly weighs anything. It's very light. Well, today you're going to come along with me while I deliver it and set it up at the client site. So, come on, let's go. Alright, so here we are. I brought this with me. It's an old Dell Vostro 230, and I've put an Intel dual NIC in here, and put PFSense 2.6, the Community Edition. Pay no attention to that label. I put PFSense 2.6, the Community Edition, on there, and I'm going to see if this fixes my OpenVPN problem. We're going to do a little test on it. But in the meantime, I also need to replace a Dell. Not Adele the singer, but a Dell computer that keeps locking up for some reason for the CFO of the company. So it's this unit down here on the floor. In fact, I came in and it was locked up. It was locked up at the login screen, and I had to reboot, power it off, and power cycle it back on. And what I'm doing now is I'm just backing up all the files to the network, so that I could put the little mini PC I brought, that I built and put in its place. So that'll take some time to get the backup done. So meanwhile, this is the firewall I put in here a few months ago. This is it's a super micro motherboard, and I just can't get Open VPN to work on it. So I don't know whether it's a problem with the AT&T BGW320 modem, but I don't know if it's a problem with that unit or if it's a problem with this. So I'm going to replace this unit with that Vostro I bought, and see if that doesn't fix our problem. I'm hoping it will, so I'll go ahead and get this set up so I can test it, and then I'll share the results with you once I find them. Alright, so let me tell you what we got done. As you can see here, I've got a lot of stuff printed out. A lot of print screens printed out. Alright, so let's do the bad news first. The bad news is that these monitors have 3 connections on them: VGA, DVI, and DisplayPort. The new mini PC only has HDMI out. It has 2 HDMI outs. I had an HDMI to DisplayPort cable. It didn't work. They never seemed to work for me for whatever reason. I got lucky though. I found a HDMI to DVI cable, and it worked. It's a long cable, so I kind of tied it up underneath the desk. This user's only going to have one monitor for a few days. There's the long cable, but at least it's up and running, and he's not going to have the lockups he was having before. And so I'm going to order 3 new HDMI to DVI cables, about 6-footers, maybe 10-footers. They should be in within the week, and then I can get them out here and replace the one that I robbed, and give him a second one on this second monitor. But he can live with a single monitor for a while. He still can work from home with a double monitor. With the double monitor. Now you notice something. There's a machine missing, right? So this was the 2U Super Micro I built for these folks 6 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it was. I could never get OpenVPN to work. I tried everything I could think of to get OpenVPN on PFSense to work. Would not work for the life of me. I even thought that they had blocked the ports from AT&T. Well, not the case. So I bought a new network card for this Dell Vostro 230, I think it is. And I I loaded PFSense on it with an Intel NIC, a dual NIC, and got it set up and loaded OpenVPN, set it up for user authentication and a certificate. It worked. It's worked every time. I rebooted 3 or 4 times now. It's working like a charm. So this is our new firewall. And I'll take this one back to the shop and I'll see what the hell's going on with it, what happened. But if you've ever run into that problem where OpenVPN, for whatever reason, isn't working on PFSense, and I'm not the only one who looked at this. I had the so-called, experts in quotation marks. I had other people who are very well versed in PFSense look at it. I had everything configured right. Just the OpenVPN would not connect for the life of it, for the life of me. WireGuard worked, but I can't. For this client, I need user authentication. I couldn't use WireGuard, so that's where we are. So, and then the other thing is this is the Dell that was locking up. It's a Dell. It's not that old. I think it's a 4th or 5th gen. It's a Dell Optiplex 3020. Yeah, it was locked up when I came in to replace it for whatever reason. And then I've got another Vostro 230 here. These seem to be really good machines. They were originally came as Windows 7 machines, but they've held up. They've held up really well over the years. So I'll put this in stock at the office and keep it as a spare for these folks. But I'm packing up my shit and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm ready to go home. With this time change is just killing me. It's already 3:53. And guess what I did? I left the house without my wallet. I'm getting so absent-minded. So I was supposed to put gas in the car on the way home. I can't even do that because I didn't bring my wallet with me. Oh well. Better luck next time. Anyway, that's it for today for this client. And thank goodness I'm ready to go home. So not only did we get this unit delivered and set up for the client, but we also solved an ongoing nagging problem with this client. This is the 3rd time I put a PFSense firewall in place. If you remember way back, we started out with a Dell R210 Model 2 unit that was their firewall, and I had some trouble with it, and it wouldn't lock in a gigabit speed and all this kind of other stuff. So we replaced that with this super micro one that I took out there. It appeared to be working fine until I went to set up OpenVPN on it. Then the OpenVPN wouldn't work, and I tried everything I could think of to get OpenVPN working. What was really odd is that WireGuard worked just fine, but anytime I tried to do OpenVPN, it would bail. So I built another machine out of that Dell Vostro, I think it's a 230 model, from way back. In fact, this thing had Windows 7 or XP on it, I believe. No, it had Windows 7 on it. And, I ordered an Intel dual NIC card for it. I put PFSense on it here and set it up in the lab and tested it. And took it out to the client site when I delivered this mini PC, put it in place, and the first thing I did was make sure that OpenVPN worked. And of course, it did, right out of the box. No runs, no drips, no errors. So it solved the problem. I still don't know what caused the problem, and it's troubling because I had people that I trust around me who know PFSense a little bit better than I do look at my setup and say, no, everything appeared to be set up correctly, just for whatever reason. It almost acted like the ports weren't open on the firewall, and they most certainly were. In fact, I even at one point pointed to the ISP and said, hey, are you blocking these ports? And they're like, no, we're not blocking them. So the proof is in the pudding, as they say, and this new used firewall, solved the problem, and now we can move on with it. But it's been an ongoing problem for 2 or 3 months, and fortunately it wasn't a critical issue with this client. It was something I'd been planning for months in advance to start using a combination of OpenVPN with some of the needs they have at this particular client. Now, all I can tell you is that the person who got this little mini PC has pleased his punch, and in fact the CFO, he's the CFO of this company, and the CEO of the company now wants to go get one of these little mini B-Link PCs because they're very impressive for what you pay. For $299, you get a full-blown i5 CPU. Now, granted, it's a lower-end one. It comes out of the box at 1 gigahertz, but it'll turbo up when it needs the speed. It came with a ton of RAM on it, a 500 gig SSD, USB 3 connections, dual HDMI outputs, a gigabit Intel card in it. I mean, it just, it checked all the boxes. And the customer is more than happy with its performance. So, happy customer, happy life, right? There you go. So that's going to do it for this episode of A Day in the Life of an IT Guy. We hope you found it entertaining and informative. As always, please give thumbs up down below if you liked the video. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click that notification bell to be notified of new videos when they come out. Donate if you're so inclined. We accept PayPal, Patreon, the YouTube join function, or better yet, become a YouTube premium member. You cut out all the ads, no more ads on YouTube. Yay, it's a glorious day. And every creator on YouTube gets a little cut of that pie, a little piece of that pie. Helps us keep the lights on around here. Thanks again for coming to see us, and don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.